What do cult leaders, Fortune 500 CEOs, and your most toxic ex have in common? They all graduated from the same invisible university, studied the same hidden curriculum, mastered the same psychological physics that most people don't even know exists. It's not a conspiracy, it's worse. It's a science. A science with principles, patterns, predictable outcomes. A science that works whether you believe in it or not. Like gravity, like thermodynamics, like the force that makes you check your phone right now. They didn't learn it in psychology class. You won't find it in self-help books. It's not taught in universities. Yet every institution of power uses it. Every master manipulator knows it. Every algorithm is built on it. Dark psychology, the study of influence without permission, control without detection, power without resistance. Tonight, I'm taking you inside that invisible university. Every principle they learned, every technique they perfected, every defense you never knew you needed. Because once you graduate, you can never be enrolled against your will again. 500 years ago, a man was exiled from Florence. Niccolò Machiavelli, diplomat, philosopher, the most hated truth-teller in history. In his exile, he wrote something that would terrify authorities for centuries. A book so dangerous it was placed on the Catholic Church's list of prohibited texts. Leaders publicly condemned it while secretly studying every word. The Prince. But here's what they don't teach you. Machiavelli didn't invent dark psychology. He just had the audacity to document what already existed, to say out loud what everyone practiced in silence. Men are so simple and so ready to obey present necessities, he wrote, that one who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived. This wasn't cynicism. This was observation. While I've shown you specific weapons in other videos, how they test your boundaries, how covert narcissists operate, tonight you get the entire arsenal, the complete system that makes all manipulation possible. Because every manipulation, every con, every toxic relationship, every propaganda campaign, they all follow the same core principles. Sun Tzu knew it. All warfare is based on deception. And make no mistake, all human interaction is warfare. The only question is whether you know you're in a battle. This is your masterclass in the complete system, the one they use, the one you're about to understand. Every dark psychology practitioner stands on 3 pillars. Remove anyone, and their power collapses. Master all 3, and you become psychologically untouchable. Pillar 1 is information asymmetry. They know more about you than you know about them. Watch a master manipulator enter a room. They're not talking, they're scanning, reading micro-expressions, cataloging speech patterns, filing away every preference, every reaction, every tell. Your digital footprint? They've studied it. That personality quiz you took for fun? They've weaponized it. The story you told about your childhood? They've noted exactly which emotions flashed across your face. Corporations spend billions perfecting this. They know you're pregnant before your family does. They know you're depressed before you do. They predict your divorce by your purchase patterns. But it's not just big tech. Your manipulative coworker? They've mapped your triggers. Know exactly which compliment makes you lower your guard, which criticism makes you work harder, which tone of voice makes you comply. Information is ammunition, and you've been handing out bullets. Pillar 2 is emotional arbitrage. They invest small emotions to extract large returns. A calculated compliment that costs them nothing but buys your loyalty. A strategic vulnerability that seems like trust but creates obligation. A perfectly timed withdrawal of attention that sends you scrambling. Watch how it works. They give you crumbs of approval. You give back loaves of effort. They show glimpses of affection. You pour out oceans of devotion. They manufacture small crises. You provide massive solutions. This is emotional arbitrage. Buy low, sell high. Invest pennies of feeling. Extract fortunes of energy. Political movements have perfected this. A promise of hope here, a dose of fear there. Suddenly you're donating, volunteering, evangelizing. They spent words. You spent your life. The personal version is more intimate, but identical. Love bombing followed by devaluation. Intermittent reinforcement. The push-pull that creates addiction. They're not giving. They're investing. And they always expect returns. Pillar 3 is reality distortion. They reshape perception until it serves their agenda. This is the darkest pillar, because once someone controls your perception of reality, they control reality itself. It starts small. They reframe your memories. That's not how it happened. Plant doubt about your judgment. You're too sensitive. Question your perceptions. Nobody else sees it that way. Layer by layer, they replace your reality with theirs. Media does this at scale. The same event, told 6 different ways, creates 6 different realities. Social media algorithms trap you in echo chambers so perfect you forget other perspectives exist. But watch how personal manipulators do it. They isolate you from other viewpoints. Create us versus them dynamics. Become your sole source of truth, until their version of reality is the only one you can see. Gaslighting isn't just lying. It's reality assassination. And by the time you notice, you're already living in their world. These 3 pillars work together. Information asymmetry lets them know exactly how to apply emotional arbitrage, which gives them the leverage for reality distortion. But these pillars rest on an even darker foundation. Psychology has a name for the foundation of all dark psychology. The Dark Triad. 3 traits that exist in everyone but dominate in those who seek control. Not disorders, not illnesses, evolutionary strategies that worked too well. Narcissism, the hunger. Imagine a black hole where self-esteem should be. An emptiness so vast it consumes everything around it. That's narcissism, not self-love, self-absence disguised as self-obsession. They need your admiration like you need oxygen. Your attention is their life support. Your praise, their drug. But here's what makes them dangerous. They've learned to extract supply efficiently. They know exactly how to trigger your caretaking instincts, how to make their emptiness your emergency. Corporate narcissism built Silicon Valley. Change the world means feed my legacy. Cultural narcissism created influencer culture. Authentic self means curated performance. The narcissist doesn't see you. They see a mirror, and they'll rage at any reflection that doesn't show them as God. Machiavellianism, the chess game. These are the calculators, The ones who see every interaction as a move on an invisible board. Relationships are alliances. Conversations are intelligence gathering. Emotions are tools. They don't feel friendship. They feel utility. They don't experience love. They experience leverage. Machiavelli himself wrote, "Since love and fear can hardly exist together, if we must choose between them, it is far safer to be feared than loved." The Machiavellian has chosen. Watch them work. Every word measured for effect. Every action designed for outcome. They'll play the long game, years, decades. Moving pieces you don't even know are on the board. Political operators are masters of this. Corporate climbers, too. But the most dangerous Machiavellians are the ones in your personal life, because you think you're having a relationship. They know they're playing a game, and you're not a player. You're a piece. Psychopathy, the void. This is the absence that feels like presence, the charm that lacks warmth, the smile that doesn't reach the eyes because there's nothing behind them to reach. Psychopaths don't lack emotion. They lack depth of emotion. They feel anger, but not remorse. Excitement, but not empathy. Want, but not love. They're not serial killers hiding in shadows. They're CEOs in corner offices, surgeons in operating rooms, politicians on podiums. The high-functioning psychopath is evolution's perfect predator. No conscience to slow them down, no empathy to hold them back. They mirror emotions perfectly because they study them like a foreign language. They know what response each situation requires. They perform it flawlessly. But it's all performance. Behind the mask is machinery. Cold, efficient, relentless. Here's the truth that should disturb you. We all have these traits. Every human carries narcissistic needs, Machiavellian thoughts, psychopathic moments. The difference is degree and dominance. But in some people, these traits don't just exist. They rule. And those people have learned to use a toolkit you encounter every single day. The weapons of dark psychology surround you, in your pocket, on your screen, in your conversations. You've felt their impact 1,000 times without knowing their names. Time to see the arsenal. Digital weapons. Your phone isn't just smart, it's studying you. Every swipe is data. Every pause, intelligence. Every click, a confession. Algorithms know your fears better than your therapist, your desires better than your partner, your patterns better than you do. They've weaponized your attention. Red notifications trigger the same neural pathways as slot machines. Infinite scroll hijacks your reward system. Variable ratio reinforcement. The most addictive schedule known to psychology. You think you're choosing what to watch. The algorithm is choosing what you want. Social media platforms aren't connecting you. They're harvesting you. Your data is the product. Your attention is the currency. Your behavior modification is the goal. They call it engagement. It's captivity. Social weapons. Humans are tribal. Dark psychology exploits this mercilessly. Watch how they manufacture division. Create an enemy. Amplify differences. Trigger tribal instincts. Suddenly, you're defending positions you didn't know you held against enemies you've never met. Outrage is the most viral emotion, so they produce it industrially. Every headline crafted for maximum trigger, every story framed for tribal warfare. They're not informing you. They're programming you. Identity manipulation is the masterpiece. They don't change your mind. They change your identity. Then your mind changes itself to match. You're the kind of person who becomes your cage. Economic weapons. Scarcity isn't always real. Usually, it's manufactured. Only 3 left in stock. Offer ends tonight. Limited edition. Your brain, evolved for actual scarcity, can't tell the difference. The panic is real. The scarcity is theater. FOMO isn't fear of missing out. It's fear of falling behind the tribe. They weaponize this. Every purchase positioned as identity. Every product as belonging. Debt is the ultimate control mechanism. Not just financial debt, emotional debt, social debt. They create obligations you can't pay, keep you scrambling, keep you serving. You're not broke. You're bound. Cognitive weapons. Your mind has limits. They know them, exploit them, push past them. Information overload isn't accidental. It's tactical. When you can't process everything, you stop processing anything. Critical thinking shuts down. You default to emotion. Exactly where they want you. Decision fatigue is their friend. Why do you think stores put candy at checkout? After 1,000 micro-decisions, your willpower is depleted. Your defenses are down. The paradox of choice paralyzes you. 40 types of shampoo, 60 streaming services, infinite options, analysis paralysis. You freeze. They choose for you. They're not giving you freedom. They're giving you fatigue. You've felt every one of these weapons. That compulsion to check your phone, that anger at strangers online, that panic at missing out, that exhaustion from choosing. Now, you know their names. But knowing the weapons isn't enough. You need immunity. You don't defeat dark psychology by becoming better at it. You transcend it. The sovereignty protocol isn't about manipulation. It's about becoming unmanipulatable, building immunity at every level, becoming psychologically sovereign. Your first defense is pattern recognition. Once you see the patterns, you can't be trapped by them. Start here. Question every emotion that seems sudden, every decision that feels urgent, every opinion that comes prepackaged. Ask yourself, who benefits from me feeling this way? Train your assumption radar. When someone says, everyone knows, ask, who's everyone? When they claim studies show, which studies? When they insist, people are saying, which people? Critical thinking isn't cynicism, it's clarity. Make it daily practice. Before you react, pause. Before you believe, verify. Before you comply, consider. The manipulator counts on your automatic responses. Break the automation. Non-reactivity is your superpower. They push your buttons because they've studied which ones work. Your anger, your guilt, your fear, your hope. Each emotion is a string they pull. Cut the strings. This doesn't mean become emotionless. It means become conscious of your emotions. Feel them fully. Then choose your response. The gap between feeling and reacting. That's where your power lives. Watch what happens when you don't react as programmed. The guilt trip fails. The anger bait goes unbitten. the fear-mongering falls flat. They'll escalate, testing for a button that still works. Your calm is their kryptonite. Learn the ultimate power move, walking away from conversations that drain you, from people who game you, from situations designed to trap you. You don't owe anyone your reaction. Social immunity, strategic visibility. Show them exactly what serves you to show, nothing more. The oversharer gives ammunition. The undersharer creates suspicion. Find your golden zone, visible enough to be trusted, private enough to be protected. Calculated vulnerability is your tool. Share struggles you've overcome, not ones you're drowning in. Show scars, not wounds. This creates connection without exploitation. But here's the master key: unpredictability. Dark psychology depends on patterns, your patterns. Break them. Respond differently than expected. Take unexpected actions. Be inconsistent in harmless ways. The manipulator needs to predict you to control you. Become unpredictable. Become uncontrollable. Spiritual immunity. Jung called it individuation. The process of becoming who you truly are, not who they programmed you to be. This is your deepest protection, because when you know yourself, truly know yourself, no one else can define you. Their projections find no purchase. Their manipulations hit no target. Shadow work is essential. The parts of yourself you deny are the parts they exploit. Your repressed anger becomes their weapon. Your hidden desires become their leverage. Own your shadow. Integrate it. Then watch their ammunition turn to dust. The ultimate defense. Become psychologically unpalatable, so grounded in your truth that their lies can't land, so whole that their hooks find no wounds to catch. You're not learning to play their game. You're learning to transcend it entirely. But this sight comes with a price. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. That friendly conversation, you'll spot the agenda. That heartfelt apology, you'll sense the calculation. That generous offer, you'll find the hook. This is the burden of awareness. The world becomes a different place. Not darker, clearer, but clarity can be lonely. You'll sit in meetings, watching manipulation in real time, see the strings being pulled, the emotions being harvested, the reality being shaped. And you'll be surrounded by people who can't see it. The sleepers don't want to wake up. They'll resist your awareness, mock your perception, label you paranoid, cynical, negative, because your clarity threatens their comfort, your sight reveals their blindness. Relationships will shift. The energy vampires will find you less tasty. The manipulators will move to easier prey. The game players will realize you're not playing. Some will leave. Let them. But here's the darker temptation. Now that you see the tools, you could use them. You understand the weapons. You could wield them. You know the game. You could win it. Machiavelli warned, everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. You now have the power to craft any appearance, to orchestrate any perception, to architect any reality. This is your choice moment. Power without principle is just sophisticated predation. Knowledge without wisdom is just educated destruction. The question isn't, can you manipulate? It's, will you? Most people prefer comfortable blindness to uncomfortable truth. They'd rather be happy slaves than struggling sovereigns. The blue pill tastes sweeter than the red, but you've already swallowed truth. There's no going back. Your relationships will transform, not because people changed, because you can finally see who they've always been. The masks become transparent. The games become obvious. This is the price of sight. But there's one final truth that changes everything. Here's what they don't want you to understand. Dark psychology is the study of unconsciousness. Every technique, every manipulation, every weapon in the arsenal, they all exploit the same vulnerability, unconscious patterns, automatic responses, programmed reactions. The sleeping mind. It only works on those who operate on autopilot, who react without thinking, who feel without questioning, who believe without verifying. The moment you become conscious, truly conscious, their power evaporates. Watch. The guilt trip requires you to accept guilt automatically. The gaslighting needs you to doubt yourself reflexively. The love bombing counts on your craving for approval. But consciousness breaks the spell. When you're awake, you see the guilt trip coming. Question why you should feel guilty. Choose your response. The manipulation hits conscious awareness and dissolves. This is why they fear awakened minds. Jung revealed the deepest truth. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Every manipulation is fate to the unconscious. Every technique is destiny to the sleeping. But to the conscious mind, they're just weather. You see them coming. You prepare. You choose your response. The darkest psychology of all, self-deception. The lies you tell yourself, the patterns you won't see, the games you play with your own mind, the manipulator in your mirror. Because the ultimate revelation is this: the only person who can truly manipulate you is you. Everyone else just triggers the self-manipulation you've already programmed. The sovereign mind cannot be conquered because it conquers itself first, knows its patterns, owns its shadows, chooses its responses. This is why consciousness is kryptonite to manipulation. The awake cannot be controlled. You now understand the architecture. The Invisible University has revealed its curriculum. The dark psychology that shapes our world is no longer hidden. The question before you is profound. What will you build? You can remain a tenant in someone else's psychological construction. Live by their blueprints. React to their designs. Dance to their architecture. Most do. It's easier. Or you can become the architect of your own mind. Design your own patterns. Create your own responses. Build your own reality. Not through manipulation, through consciousness. This is your challenge. For the next week, spot the architecture everywhere. In advertisements selling you solutions to problems they created. In conversations where compliments come with price tags. In social media designed to harvest your attention. In news that shapes your fears. See it, name it, then choose your response. Because when you can see it, you can't be trapped by it. The corporate manipulation, you'll recognize the pattern. The toxic relationship, you'll spot the game. The social engineering, you'll see the strings. You're graduating from the invisible university, But unlike them, you're not learning to manipulate. You're learning to be free. Join those who see the matrix of human interaction, who understand the game but refuse to play, who know the rules but write their own. This is the path of the sovereign, the awake, the architect. Type, "I see the architecture," if you're ready to build rather than be built upon, because the master of the game isn't the best player. It's the one who knows all the rules, but plays by none of them. Welcome to consciousness. Welcome to freedom. Welcome to the story of self.